Hello, welcome to Little Flower Tarot. My name is Krista, and today we are going to do a reading. I just came up with it after looking at this spread, and it is going to be how can you find yourself worthy of your desires, and how can you empower yourself to move towards them. I was looking at all of the purple. I mean, the green is, I love the little green pops in these daisies. That's giving me heart chakra vibes. So like, that's just kind of emoting this kind of your heart's desires. The purple color is crown chakra. It makes me think of your worthiness. And then of course the sunflowers is representing the solar plexus chakra, and the sunflowers are about, to me, they're going to be about empowerment in this reading. So yeah, let's activate our solar plexus, our crown, and our heart chakra in this reading. And let's figure out how you can empower yourself to move towards your heart's desires. So you can choose group number 1, group number 2, or group number 3. And yeah, so let's get started. Hi, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. Today, our reading is focused on how you can find yourself worthy enough for your heart's desires, and also how can you empower yourself to move towards them. I came up with the idea after putting this spread out and kind of tapping into the energy of the flowers, and the green in the center of these purple flowers reminded me of the heart chakra, the purple, the crown, and the sunflowers, the solar plexus. So yeah, the green reminded me of your desires, your heart, the desires of your heart. The purple reminded me of your worthiness to attain them. And then the sunflower reminded me of empowerment, the empowerment to go after them. So that is what our reading is going to be about today. I'm excited to get into it. So yeah, here we go. All right, so the first oracle cards I pulled are from the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Linn. I pulled 2 per reading, and your cards are Navigating by the Stars, Follow Your Bliss, and Grace and Gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. All right, and I think I'm going to pull, okay, so I'm also going to pull an oracle card from the Flower of Life Oracle deck by Denise Jarvie. Oh, we've got a couple of Denises here today. Okay, yeah, that's it, 2 Denises. Okay, I'm like, a lot of oracle deck creators are named Denise, it seems like. Okay, so yeah, let's pull one of these. Whoa, I feel like it's this one. Okay. This oracle card says, weave your life. Make sure it focuses before I start reading it. There we go. Okay, so weave your life. You're standing on the edge of everything you desire. Take a step or a leap into what the mind perceives as the unknown, and you will pull towards you all you dream about and desire. Create, create, create. You are a work of art in progress. Weave a different web full of your dreams and desires, and be willing to meet them when they arrive. Get yourself ready by knowing they are on their way and by being present in each moment. If you are distracted by the future or the past, you won't know they have arrived. Your life is happening now, and you are weaving the direction of your life in this moment. Where would you like your life to go? The choice is yours. Spiral inward and feel your wonderment. That is absolutely beautiful. All right, so I'm going to just leave this guy right up here with your sunflower. Okay, alrighty. Okay. All right. And then I think I'm going to start pulling the tarot already. Yeah. So far, it's really beautiful energy. It just is feeling like this navigating by the stars and this grace and gratitude and like this message about weaving your desires, and you're on the brink of everything that you want coming true and letting go of the past and the present. The message so far seems to be one about tapping into your intuition and following your intuition and letting this navigating by the stars, letting your life feel magical and in the present moment, letting go of worrying about how things are going to come to pass and be present with what is, the magic of what is, and grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. This feels like it's pulling us into the present moment to be grateful for what we have right now. And I know that's something that everyone hears very often. It can be like a broken record. Feel grateful. If you want what you want in the future, you need to feel grateful for what you have right now. And I know sometimes that's hard when you've been working really hard towards something and you don't see the results. But we're going to touch on that. So we'll get to that point. There's like a pain point I'm noticing there. Okay. All right, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull some tarot. Okay. All right. How can group number 1 empower themselves and find themselves worthy to go after, to walk towards their heart's truest desires? And I don't usually do reversals. I don't know why. I feel like I can tap into the energy without the reversal. But we'll see how, if a reversal comes out and I want it to stick, I might leave it. So we'll see. Okay. All right. So your first tarot card. Yeah, I'm not doing reversals. I can't. Actually, no, we're not doing that. 9 of Cups. Okay, well, this is beautiful. This is a wish fulfillment card. This is a satisfaction card, and it actually reminds me of this through gratitude, joy expands, because this evokes this feeling of, I'm so grateful where I'm at. I'm going to take a moment and just notice and acknowledge how far I've come, all of the gifts in my life right now that I've prayed for before, and I'm just going to be grateful for that. So that's what I'm getting from that. And then, okay, so we've got a conflict card here. We've got the 5 of Wands. It just evokes this feeling of conflict, of battle, of feeling like you're in a battle with something, or maybe there's an internal battle going on. But we'll get into it. Okay, the Hierophant. The Hierophant. So the Hierophant has to do with it's the rules, regulations, submitting to a higher power, traditions. Yeah, so, okay. I'm going to pull a couple more. Strength. Okay. Strength card. All right. Oh, can you see it? Here, maybe I'll pull these up a little. I think that would be good. There we go. I want to make sure. Oh, this is pretty. Okay. All right. And then last but not least, it's the 10 of Swords. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. All righty. So, all right. So I'm being pulled to the Grace and Gratitude card first and foremost. And this looks like it's in an Eastern country, this imagery. She is, yeah, there's like a little temple there, and she's blowing, I don't know, she's kind of just looking at, it looks like smoke and rose petals, and she's staring at the magic of life. And my first instinct is that maybe some of you are planning to go to an Asian country soon, and that might be one of the things on your heart. And it also kind of feels like this woman in the card is a spirit guide. And I'm getting this energy like she's saying, I've got something up my sleeve. I'm working on something for you. We are working on something for you. And it's going to be a very pleasant surprise. And so I'm getting, from this card right now, I'm getting this feeling like your spirit guides, guardian angels, God, the universe is cooking something up for you. This magic coming from her hand just makes me think of that. And yeah, there's something being worked on behind the scenes for you that you're unaware of, and that it's okay that you're unaware of it. I mean, now I guess you're aware of it because I'm telling you, but it's okay that you're unaware of what it is. In fact, there's so much that you're not meant to know. If you knew everything, then life would be incredibly boring. And I'm getting the sense that there's also a message about, I don't know, maybe you've been watching a lot of these readings, or maybe you've been trying to like pry into like basically the Akashic records, you know, I mean, basically the universal information that's out there. It's like you're trying to like pull something. It feels like this energy of like trying to pull it out and trying to like grasp it in your hand, like the truth of it, the truth of that these things are going to come to pass. Like your desires are going to come to pass. And just, it's like you're grasping for proof of it. And there's just this message from this card, is it just feels like it's saying, they're saying, you're not meant to know so many things, and that's part of the beauty of life. So I think just letting go, releasing, and like, let's do that right now. I feel like I can tell you to release all you want, but we can do it right now in this moment. Like, just close your eyes, bow your head, and just pray to God, the universe, and give all of your that like insatiable feeling of, I want this now, and I want to know that it's coming, and I want some sort of physical evidence that it's coming, and it's like a desperate feeling of, I need to know. Let's just give that to God right now. Let's let it go, because it's such a burden to carry. I feel it like lifting as I speak, and oh, it's like on your heart. That's like, release it from your heart. Let it go, because it's just, we're not meant to know. We're not meant to know. And we're meant to trust and know that everything is as it should be. And we do live a blessed life. And that all of our heart's desires are meant to be met. Otherwise, they wouldn't be placed there. But there is a way to hold unmet desires on our hearts and still live in peace and still live in gratitude for the present moment. Yeah, so, yeah, all right. And yeah, this energy here, this grace and gratitude, also let's open up right now to the grace that wants to come into our life, and the grace that wants to bless our life, and open our hearts up to see a new way of experiencing our present moment. And let's just be open to the magic that is around us right now. So, okay, yeah, that was beautiful. And okay, so what else are we going to look at here? I thinking, what are we... Okay, so this card, I was reading it again. You are standing on the edge of everything you desire. Take a step or a leap into what the mind perceives as the unknown, and you will pull toward you all you dream about and desire. Create, create, create. You are a work of art in progress. So maybe a lot of you are creatives, a lot of you are artists, and the art of what you're doing is pulling you into it. And I know, myself included, so many people want to make a living from their art, and it's hard to strike a balance between doing our art for the love of it and also having an entrepreneurial mindset that's going to help us uplift our art and honor our art and allow it to provide for us. But yeah, so this right here, I feel like this message is pulling you into the art of what you're doing and the unknown of what you're doing, and letting go of how you think your art and what you're creating in the world is going to be received and how it can be used to make a living. I feel like you're being called to let go of that and to trust in your voice and to trust in your art and let yourself be pulled into the void of your creativity and let it take you on the journey it's meant to take you on, and quit trying to control your art. Basically, art is not meant to be controlled. I feel like we are meant to allow it to be free, to be fluid, in its wild feminine nature, and just let it do its thing and speak through us in the way it wants to speak through us, and be a co-creator in the way that we're being called to be a co-creator. So yeah, this message is let go. Like it feels very like stark, this message. It's like, please stop. What's the word? And I got this message a few weeks ago, and I remember thinking, like, feeling so remorseful. What's the word? It's exploiting. Yes, exploiting your voice, exploiting your art, and asking it to do something that it's not meant to do, in this capitalistic way. Art is meant to serve our souls, to serve the world, and to provide for us in a more nurturing, feminine way that still can include your financial reality, but it's not like an extraction. It's not like I'm going to use this to extract money. It's more like I'm going to surrender to this, and I'm going to trust in the natural way that this is going to bring about change for me, and I'm going to follow divine guidance when the time is right, for this to bring about the financial rewards and benefits that I'm meant to have from it. And it's like this messaging is saying, it's kind of like, oh man, how do I word this? Separating your traditional understanding of how to make money from your art, and opening yourself up to a new way that this money is going to come in from you creating your art. There's a whole new paradigm that's being woven on the earth right now. It's a more feminine, more loving, more conscious financial paradigm that we're all collectively creating, and you're going to play a part in that. So the traditional ways of extracting money, it's not going to work anymore. And so I feel like it's completely frustrating. And maybe that's this card, Five of Wands. There is a frustration here. There is like an inner battle because it feels like you're trying to like force something to happen in the way that you've been conditioned to think that it should happen. And so you're frustrated that things aren't happening the way you thought that it would come about. But yeah, again, it's this new way. So it's going to feel like this says, take a step or leap into what the mind perceives as the unknown, and you will pull toward you all you dream about and desire. So it is this unknown feeling that you're going to be walking into. And you have to put your trust in that. And that's difficult. That can be very difficult. Because like with the Hierophant, the traditional way of doing things is such a strongly ingrained way within your being and your mind and your brain and your nervous system. Like, it's like, oh, well, I did this. I did exactly how I'm supposed to do it. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it? No, that's because there's something missing. You're meant to be pulled into a different way. So, yeah. So, okay. All right. So, and this navigating by the stars. So, I think part of the frustration is that you're being called to follow your intuition and trust in your intuition. And it might feel like you're in the dark a lot of the time. And like this pathway, I mean, I guess the imagery would help for sure. Like this pathway here, it's like you're taking this nighttime path, and you're letting your intuition and the night kind of guide you, and it's just dark, and it's like you're slower. You have to go slower because you might trip over something, and you have to really keep your wits about you and keep your eyes open. But it says follow your bliss. So one beautiful thing about it is you can take this intuitive path and follow the love that's calling you in, follow the excitement that's calling you in, the joy, the curiosity, and it's slower and it's darker and it's more of an unknown path, but it's so much more exciting. It's going to lead you in the right direction. It's like you don't know where you're going, but this path is the right path. And sometimes you're not going to be able to see the path ahead of you. Sometimes you will see it a little bit more clearly because the moon will be full and everything will be bright. But a lot of times it's going to be kind of, you can see a few feet in front of you and that's it. And that is the path. You are on the right path when this is what it feels like. Sometimes you're just not meant to know. I mean, there are times when we're standing in the sun and where we see everything clearly, and where our vision for our life is crystal clear, and we feel this huge faith that everything's going to come to pass the way we want it to. But most of the journey is the present moment along the way journey, and we're not meant to see that far ahead, and it's going to be exciting, and it's going to have twists and turns, and we're going to have new characters that pop up out of nowhere that kind of surprise us and inspire us and change us. And there's so much. It's a journey, and we're meant to walk it. So yeah, so I feel like just trust in it. Trust in the present moment. Trust in the one step you're taking right now. And trust that there's so much more fulfillment to come. All right. So, yeah, it feels like there is a frustration here, and maybe this Ten of Swords energy. Ten of Swords represents a painful ending, and sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus. Come on. You can do it. There we go. And there's this stagnant feeling. It feels like your energy has been in this painful ending energy for a very long time. And it feels like, okay, so that's part of the frustration. That's part of this Five of Wands energy. The frustration and the inner battle, because and an impatience with life. And it feels like there's this feeling of, it feels like you know that you're in the ending of a phase, but you're not seeing the physical, tangible results of the new beginning. So, though, I don't know. I feel like with this, there are actual tangible results of the new beginning that you're overlooking because you're looking for specific things. And you're saying, okay, these specific things that I want haven't shown up yet. So there is no evidence that this new beginning is showing up. But I think that's not true. I think there is a lot of evidence that this new beginning is showing up. And it might be about your spiritual growth, the inner healing you've done, your capacity to receive what is coming to you, the blocks you've cleared, all of the healing that you've done up to this point, and it's in you. The proof is inside of you. And I feel like you're not, until you embrace this is what you're being called into right now. This is not a future moment when you've got everything that you've desired and you finally attained it and your wish is fulfilled. This is actually what you're being called into now. Your wish being fulfilled now. What have you been praying for in the past, or even in the recent past? What have you been going through? What have you been processing? What is it what do you have right now that's preparing you for the even bigger reality that you want to come? What is it? What is it? There's something here. You're being called into this contentment and this knowing that you have wishes fulfilled for you right now. What are the things? I think you need to journal. I think you need to sit down and be like, okay, what do I have right now that is, I think the main, I don't know, I guess the main, what do I have right now that is preparing me for the even greater things that are to come? How far have I come? What's the physical proof that I'm on the path? And even if it's just a little bit of proof, what are these things? Look at, like, whatever it is you're creating. You're an artist. You're a creator. So what have you created? It says create. Like, you are a work of art in progress. What have you created that's gotten you to where you are right now? Be not only grateful, but just be proud of yourself for how far you've come right now. And I know that's so cheesy. Like, I know that people get that, oh, you should be grateful for how far you've come right now. And it's just like, oh, I roll, like, because I'm so fed up that I want things to actually change. I want bigger changes. Like, yeah, that's cool. Like, that's good to have those desires, and it's fine to want those bigger changes. But you are being called right now to prepare yourself for those changes that are definitely coming. You are being asked to take stock of how far you've come. And I think journaling about it, sitting down and asking yourself the question, like right at the top of your paper, what is the mental, spiritual, and physical evidence that I am nearing closer and closer to my desired reality? And go through and, well, maybe just open up and allow yourself, kind of just say to yourself, I am open to seeing things differently. and allow yourself to take a step back and view your life from a different angle and look at the evidence, find the evidence and write it all down. So yeah, you're definitely being called to do that. Yeah, and it's kind of like another message is if you can't do this because you're always going to have bigger dreams, you're always going to have unmet desires, things that are on your heart that aren't like in the physical world yet. So this is actually just a practice that you can do to ensure that when these bigger things do come, you can take stock and you can take a moment to be grateful. You can take a moment to notice all that's changed for you, to take stock and notice all that you have created, all that you've helped to co-create with the universe, and all that is there as evidence right now. So, all right. So, the Strength card. Okay. All right. Number 8 represents abundance to me. So does this number. There's an 8 above her head, an infinity sign that represents abundance to me as well. But yeah, so the Strength card. This feels like, okay. So with all the conflict energy that's been here, I feel like this Strength card is the outcome of you handling this in a healthy way. So I guess this is kind of telling me that the best approach to handle your inner frustration and your inner anxieties is to be gentle with yourself. Like, to me, the lion represents these inner anxieties and this inner ferocity and this inner, well, in this reading is what it's representing to me. And this like big, bad, scary, like worry and fear that what you're working towards isn't going to come to pass. And, that maybe all your efforts are futile, or this big, whatever fears and worries you have right now about your future and about your desires becoming a reality. I feel like the Strength, this is you being really gentle with yourself and allowing yourself to feel this way and not being harsh on yourself for feeling this way. And it reminds me of meditating and just being with your difficult emotions, being with your frustration and just observing it, being gentle with yourself. And eventually it's like taming the lion. Like, it will calm down, it will settle down, and you'll see it for what it truly is, which is, it's just desire. It's, at the end of the day, it's desire, and it's like a burning desire that you have, and that's a good thing. I think it just can get a little imbalanced when we are not grounded or patient. So there's nothing wrong with getting into this frustrating, overwhelmed, or like this fearful energy. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, I would argue, or what I feel like a message that's coming through is that it's almost a sign that things are about to happen, because things are about to change. And I feel like it's almost like the universe, I just feel like you're being prepared by the universe to receive all that it is you're calling in, and to be the person who is capable of transitioning into a new way of being, that this new era of your life is calling you in, or these desires, these things that are going to come to reality in your life, how they're like the person they're calling you to be, to receive them in a healthy and fulfilling way. I feel like this conflict is something that is just meant to be addressed in a healthy, calm, loving, kind way. And it's just a part of the path. This is a part of the path, and it's good. It's much better. The universe just wants the best for you, and wants you to be able to receive these things on your heart in a healthy, grounded way. and really receive them, really feel them when they come. So it is just a part of the path and a part of the lessons that you are called to rise to right now. And everything is working in your favor. Everything is working for you to be happy. And it's just, yeah, you're being called to trust in that truth. This is all for you, not against you. And you'll know that. Like when you enter into the next phase of your life, into this new beginning, you will know it deep in your core and your soul, and you will understand why you've had to go through this frustration or this challenge or this trial, whatever this is that you're going through. You will know in that phase. So trust in that. Everything's as exactly as it's meant to be. This is our path. We're on Earth, and we knew it wasn't going to be easy when we came here, and we came here for lessons, and we came here for growth, soul growth, and it's hard. It's really hard and confusing and scary sometimes. Especially when we're transmuting the earth's pain, the people's pain, our ancestors' pain. When we're being called to heal ourselves, our ancestral line, be a healer for humanity. And I don't mean everyone like that's watching this is a quote healer, but I just mean we're called to rise to our calling, which will help heal the earth, so and the people. But yeah, so I actually want to pull a couple cards from the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I just think these are really pretty, and I just kind of wanted to end the reading with these. So I always feel like at the end of the reading, it's like when do you stop? Like when because I could go on forever and ever and ever, but I hope you're getting everything you need from the reading, because it feels like, I don't know, maybe I will find a moment that feels complete. So we're not complete yet because we have these. So, okay. All right. Group number 1. What extra messages need to come through in this reading? Okay. Okay. All right. So we've got, cool. Just as I was saying, okay, so double mission, light worker, starseed, serve the world by being you. Yeah, so, I was picking up on the fact that a lot of you are artists, creators, and the message in the beginning of the reading where it was saying you are being called to be devoted to your art and to your voice, and to not exploit the sacredness of that. And I feel like double mission. So double mission makes me think light worker, starseed. Okay. So double mission makes me think of, you are both meant to help change the world with your work, but also feel deeply satisfied and fulfilled in your life, in your body, in your world, in your home, in your relationships. You are meant to find deep fulfillment and satisfaction. And not only that, but by being you, by creating the artwork, by creating, writing, whatever it is that you do, that you are passionate about, that pours through you naturally, that's weird and funky and loud or quiet, or whatever it is that is just uniquely yours and has your fingerprint on it, that is what's going to change the world. So yeah, that's kind of what this is giving off to me, that you are meant to be deeply you, and by doing that you will affect the world positively. So trust in who you are, trust in your voice, trust in your art, trust in your weirdness, and walk towards that. And that will never lead you astray. So yeah. Okay. And one more. Okay. All paths lead home. Okay. Wait. I wish this would just focus. There we go. Okay, so all paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. Yeah, so again, it feels like it's reiterating that original message of don't worry about how the world's going to receive your work, your voice, whatever it is. Just put yourself out there in your own unique way. Whatever way is just authentically who you are. What about all paths lead? All paths lead home. So let me look at this real quick. Well, okay. Is there a questioning? Do you have a questioning? Like you might be questioning the way you're doing things or the path you're on, or if you made the right decisions, or if you're making the right decisions. This is kind of just saying, as long as you're trusting in your inner compass, even if you make the quote like wrong decision, you will always be led back to where you need to be. Your inner compass, there's no linear path. Like it's just you doing your best, being human, bumping into walls, bumping into things, and the universe kind of like nudging you like back on the path. And no matter what direction you take, you'll always be led back. You're so held, and you're guided, and your intuition is spot on. And when it's not, you're still being guided, and even if it's unseen, you're still on the right path. So yeah, I think that's just trust in your path, trust in your intuition, and even when you feel like you can't hear it, just know you're still on the right path, period. So, all right, so I think I'm going to end the reading right there. Thank you so much. This was really lovely and light and breezy, and I really enjoyed this reading. I really appreciate your presence. We are going to move into the energy healing now. I call it the infinite prayer because the energy work seems to be infinite in nature. So the more I started doing it, the more I witnessed what was going on while I was doing it. It really felt like I was tapping into this kind of, it reminds me of water. It's like this infinite wellspring or this infinite creek, or of energy healing and of love and of guidance and truth that is ever flowing. And so when you tap into the energy healing, when you join me in the infinite prayer, it's like you're accessing this cup to kind of take a dip, like a stone. I guess you would imagine it like a stone cup, or even like a leaf or something, to take a dip into the water and take a sip of the water. It's this healing water. And I know that sounds that's the best way I can describe it. I hope I can gradually learn to describe it a little bit better. But yeah, so moving into the infinite prayer now, there will be a link down below for your specific group for the energy healing session. I've made it extremely accessible, extremely inexpensive, because at first I had it at a higher price point, but it didn't feel right because it really felt like this never-ending pool of beautiful healing that should be accessible to everyone, while also me honoring the energy and the time I put into it by putting at least somewhat of a price on it. So yeah, we will move into that. Link will be down below, and yeah, I hope to see you there. If not, if I'm leaving you here, thank you so much. This was a really beautiful reading. I just pray that you find the inner strength and knowing to continue on your path and trust in your path. And I also pray that a load is lifted off of you and you can breathe and you can find the joy in your present reality. So thank you so much. Bye. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. This reading is focused on how you can find yourself worthy of your heart's truest desires and how you can empower yourself to move forward towards them. So the flowers themselves inspired this reading: the heart chakra, crown chakra, and solar plexus, the colors of the flowers. definitely inspired this. It made me think of the heart chakra being your heart's desires, the crown chakra being your feelings of worthiness, and the sunflower, the yellow, being your inner empowerment and your inner light that's guiding you and moving you towards your desires. So I just want to thank these beautiful flowers for inspiring today's reading. So I have pulled 2 oracle cards from the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. Okay, so your first card is reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. And your second card is fellow travelers. There we go. Fellow travelers. Support is all around you. All right. Okay, so I'll move this sunflower right up here. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull another card from the Flower of Life Oracle. And I think just one of these. I only pulled one of them for group 1, so probably just one. Alright. Group number 2. How can group number 2 empower themselves to feel worthy of their heart's desires? This one. Okay. Alrighty. So dive in. Let us not be concerned with where we have come from or where we may be going. Here, let me make sure. Yeah, there we go. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and feel into the eternal moment happening now and now and now. Allow all to be as it is. Sink deeper into you. Fall into your grace. Dive in and allow the riches of you, infinite unconditional love, to be revealed. Let go. Let it be. Allow your treasure, your riches, to shine brightly, shedding light into every part of you, illuminating any darkness, transforming it into love, balanced energy that will reveal the very truth of you. Free yourself of all that holds you back. Whew, that was awesome. All right. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so far what I'm getting is, okay, so reaching your destination and fellow travelers. This, I love these cards. They all have these beautiful pathways and they all look different. But what I'm getting from this is this feeling of this imminent reality, this new reality that's coming to you, and knowing and tapping into it. It's not out there. That's the thing. It's not something you're reaching for in the outside world. It's something that is inside of you, and you can tap into it anytime, because the future, the people that you're meant to meet, these fellow travelers, and this destination that you're meant to be at is all your destiny. It's all meant for you, and it's all already inside of you, and it's just, it might not be reflected out into the physical world just yet, but it originates inside of you. These connections, the color and light and beauty of the new places you'll go, and the intimacy and love and connection with the people you'll meet, it's all inside of you already. So this is a really beautiful message to help you tap in to all of that that's already yours. Yeah. So, and I group number 1. So group number 1 was about it kind of touched on this frustration that, you know, you're not seeing these things reflected to you in the physical world just yet. You're not seeing your manifestations or your destination or the things you're wanting reflected, and it really tapped on this frustration. So if that's something you're going through, I would recommend watching group number 1 as well. It really felt like this is almost like a continuation of that. Wow. Okay, so we're going to keep pulling cards. So yeah, so we're going to actually pull the tarot. And I'm just pulling the Rider-Waite Tarot today. So here we go. All right. The Hermit was on the bottom. We'll see if it comes out again, but it kind of just made itself known for a second there. All right, how can group number 2 empower themselves to move towards their heart's desires? How can group number 2 feel worthy of their heart's desires? Okay. All right. So we've got, oh, and I don't typically take reversals. I will if I feel called to, but I feel like I can read the cards without it. So I'm just kind of mentioning that. If it comes out reversed, don't worry about it. We'll, you know, yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, you've got the 10 of Wands. All right. Ooh. 10 of Pentacles. Very strong finality energy. 10. The Lovers. Alrighty, the Knight of Wands. You seeing it? Oh, let me scooch everything, make sure it's in the frame here. And one more for now, unless I feel called to pull a couple more. But you've got the 6 of Swords. Okay. This is fun. Okay. All right, so we're going to start here with what we have. All right, so. Okay. I keep having this feeling of like something coming up from behind that like startles you. Or well, me, like that's how I feel. I'm like, oof, like there's this energy like coming up from behind that's, it feels like kind of abrupt and it's kind of coming out of nowhere. I think I need a clarifier for this energy that I'm feeling. I need to pull a card for, okay, what is this abrupt, shocking, come out of nowhere, up from behind energy that I'm picking up on? Okay. Okay. What? Okay. Okay, the 4 of Wands. I think I'm like really confused. Okay, let me pull one more. And the King of Wands. Okay. A lot of Wands energy here. A lot of fire. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm getting the message now. Okay. So my camera died and it was funny. It was almost perfect timing because right after I said, oh, I'm getting the message now. I kind of went into this weird bumbling mess because the energy that was coming through, or is coming through, is just like this shock and awe, like, what? Like dumbfounded, like, no, this isn't what I expected kind of energy. And so I was like existing in that for like well, maybe not 3 minutes. I don't know. It was a couple minutes. And, but yeah, so there is something coming into your world to shake it up. Like, I don't like giving predictions. I'm not a predictions reader type person. But one way I guess we could, the reason why I don't like to do predictions is because like it all has to do, as far as predictions go and the way the future goes, it's involved, like free will's involved too. There's so many elements involved. And so I don't want to disappoint you when something doesn't happen. But as far as, so how do I read this in a way that is responsible is my, so there's let's say, without saying specifics, there is an energy coming into your life that's shaking things up. And I would hope that it's welcome. I would hope it's a welcome energy. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and one thing, it was funny, one thing that was coming through, and I don't know if I said that already because I don't know what got cut off. But it's one of these things that even as I'm telling you that something is going to be shaken up and this energy is going to come in, and it felt like a person's involved, like with this King of Wands, it really felt like this is a person or people that are involved that are going to help shake up your world in a really good way. And it's going to help, like, it just feels like this energy coming in, and like the crusty cage or the like shell, it's almost like shedding skin. It's like you're going to be shedding skin, and this energy that's coming in is going to help you like shake off all the like dust and all the old energy, and it's all going to like clear out of the way. And yeah, so that's freaking awesome. Okay, where do I begin? Wow. Maybe this Ten of Wands energy is pulling me in first. I see you working really diligently and pushing and pushing and pushing to break through to a new way of being, into a new reality, whatever it is you're working towards, whatever it is you're building right now in your life, trying to change, working towards change, working to grow something, whether that's a business or whether that's something to do with your home, just something stable, strong. It feels like you're building something really stable and strong. You're trying to build it from the ground up and do it in a way that is going to create this Ten of Pentacles reality where you've really built it on a steady foundation, and you're heading, and that's, this Four of Wands, like you're wanting to build this Four of Wands reality, this steady, strong, stable, healthy, beautiful foundation to your life where you can feel safe and secure. And I feel like this Ten of Wands energy, it's like you're pushing and you're pushing, and then it's like you take a break and you get exhausted, you take a break, and then it's like you have to gather your strength and continue to go, continue to push, continue to build. And I just see you doing that like consistently and constantly. And it's almost actually this energy that came through that was like out of nowhere. I would say it's represented by this Knight of Wands. I feel like the Knight of Wands is very fast moving, very kind of like impulsive. It's this fiery energy that's coming through. And I feel like there is a message that, there's, whether it's in the form of a person or an energy, there is support coming in for you that's going to help you move forward more quickly, that's going to help empower you to get things done in a more effortless way. That's not going to feel so like break your back. God, do I have to like take another break and then gather my energy resources and push again? And you feel like you're doing it all on your own. And there is this energy, this support, and this help. And oh yeah, the fellow travelers, this support is all around you energy. It's like this new fresh energy is going to come in, and it's not going to feel the same that it's always felt. You've been doing like base level, ground level, like, tilling the earth, like break your like back breaking, like blood, sweat, and tears kind of energy work and physical, like whatever work you're doing for your life to change things, it's like that's the energy. You've been doing ground level, root level work, and I feel like it's paying off. And you're going to get to a point where it gets lighter and easier and more effortless. It's like the work smarter, not harder kind of energy can finally come in, and you can it'll be lighter and easier and more effortless. It'll kind of be like, that might be part of this out of nowhere energy. It's like, wow, like how do I have all this energy all of a sudden? And it's because of all the work you've been putting in. Maybe you've been taking better care of yourself on top of it. Like that's part of this work you've been putting in, like taking better care of your diet, your body, your mental health, your spiritual health, like everything. Like plus on top of it, putting in the work to change your life, change your physical reality, your home life, like whatever it may be, your financial reality, whatever it is you're working towards. It's like you've been doing that, and it's all going to come together to like uplift you onto this new platform, that it's like a new plateau where your base level is much lighter and easier and freer. So good job. Like I really feel like there's this, I feel it. It's like, good job. Oh my God. Like you've done such an amazing job. There's a celebratory energy. There is a celebratory energy to the Four of Wands. Like it's like, oh my God, amazing. You've done so good. Good job. You've gotten yourself to this place. It's like, that's such a hard feat. Good job. Amazing. You're doing amazing. Yeah. And so let's see the Lovers card. Yeah, I feel like you are moving into this place where you just feel more balanced, you feel more empowered. It almost feels like this is the divine feminine and masculine energies within you feeling balanced and feeling, and then this guy right here, the angel, it's like this is all of you. You've got this like gender neutral, beautiful, powerful, like God energy. And then you've got your beautiful divine feminine and masculine energy. And it's just like it reminds me of like the Holy Trinity. Like it's all connected and it's all one. And that's within you. And I feel like things are coming together in a way where there's going to be this new light inside of you that is more stable. It's almost like this churning that you've been doing, this building, this working, this pushing. And it's like, it's almost like, it feels like sparking rocks together or sticks together to create a fire. It's like you've been sparking rocks constantly, building. And it feels like it's finally like going to create this beautiful fire that's going to have all the elements that you need within it to propel you forward in this really powerful and strong way. So I just see you've got so much support coming for you. So much freaking support. It's insane. Internal support, like spiritual support, and definitely support in the form of other human beings as well. Wow. Gorgeous. Okay, so now I'm being pulled to this, the Six of Swords, moving from, let's hope this this energy is really electric. And so, yeah, let's move into the Six of Swords, where we're moving from, these rocky waves into smooth and calm waves. So interesting. Okay, yeah. So you have been, it feels like this sparking that's been going on And this effort to create momentum has been a little bit like I'm just going to say I'm sorry if this is coming across very erratic. It's because I'm reading very erratic energy. But what I'm getting is that it has been erratic and it has been up and down. Like maybe you go through these bouts of intense, energetic pushes that feel amazing. You feel on top of the world, to these like crashes where you feel low and lethargic. And I feel like the Six of Swords is saying that the rocky waters, that's the best way. I don't know why rocky waters, that sounds weird, rocky waters, but maybe rocky waters, like if you're in rapids and you're hitting rocks and stuff, and it's like you move fast and, you know, you're going super quick and you're like, yeah, I'm good. And then all of a sudden you come to a cluster of rocks in the river and you're like stuck and you can't get out. And, you know, it's kind of like you're moving from that really difficult, the rocky waters, into this more wide open river that's just ever flowing, and it's got like this strong, powerful momentum, and you're just going to be floating right on top of it, and it's going to carry you exactly to where you need to go, and it's going to feel strong, steady, and powerful and safe. It's going to feel safe, and it's going to feel reliable. So yeah, you're moving into a place where you can trust in your light and in your flow and in your empowerment. This inner fire that comes through, you can truly trust in it to guide you to where you need to be, and it's going to be a lot more steady and stable. So yeah, okay. So I feel like the message that's coming through for you is that there is someone who wants to come into your life, or who's going to come into your life, who's going to be attracted into your world, that is this. So I think it's this King of Wands. So could be someone who has a really strong masculine energy, and who how do I specify that? It might be someone who's really confident in their ability to create change in their life, their ability to who's just really empowered and really capable and really strong and really structured, and who is going to support you in a way that makes it feel like this giant load has been taken off of your shoulders, that you don't have to do everything, you don't have to clean up the slack. I don't know what that, like, pick up the slack basically for maybe the energies you've been in for a while now. Maybe you do most of the, how do I put this? So maybe a lot of the relationships that you have, the friendships, your family relationships, maybe you do a lot of the energetic work. Or maybe you have a lifestyle preference that's different than a lot of the people around you, and you don't feel supported in that lifestyle preference. And I feel like it just feels like the weight is on you, like your environment isn't supporting you in the way that you need, as far as the way you want to live your life. And I feel like this King of Wands person is going to come in, and it's going to be this huge breath of fresh air. And it's going to be someone who naturally is supportive and who has similar ideals, and who is intrinsically motivated to be this supportive like person in your life, who's it's their desire to support you and to help you live in harmony and help you live within a space that supports you in being your being in your flow, being in your softness. I feel like up until now, it's like you've had to be a little bit harder because you have to put so much work in creating structure for yourself to make yourself feel safe. And I feel like this person that's coming in is going to help create that structure so you can soften, so you can let go, and so you can just be yourself. And so a lot of the weight of creating the physical environment that you need as far as just your lifestyle choices go, a lot of that weight is going to be lifted off of you. You can still be a co-creator in that, but I just feel like whoever this person is that's coming in is going to be, intrinsically motivated. It's like it's their greatest joy to support you in that. I keep thinking of like food choices. I keep thinking of, like the way you want to take care of yourself, the energy you want to exist in on a regular basis. Like maybe you've been around really angsty people or people who complain or people who are negative, and like whoever this person is, they want to live in the same way that you want to live, as far as the way you eat, the way you take care of your body, the energy you want to exist in, the peace and the harmony and the flow that you want to exist in. So too does this person. And I feel like having someone there to support you in that is just going to feel so amazing. And it's going to lift so much off of your shoulders to the point where that might be an element and a reason that this smooth, like I said, like the boat on the river, this smooth river that's going to pull you into where you need to be, that's trusting and reliable and steady. This person might be like a really strong element in why this is going to be a possible reality for you. So so I feel like the person is the King of Wands, and this Knight of Wands energy is kind of what they bring in. It's like they're coming in and they're bringing in this. It's not like they're the Knight of Wands, but the way it's received by you is this like kind of like abrupt, like out of nowhere, fast, like shifty, like kind of like eye-opening and awakening, powerful energy that's going to shake your world up, but put you in a place where you are in calmer waters. So I need a drink of water. Holy moly. Okay, so wow, have I touched on all of the tarot cards? I think I have. It feels like... Okay, so what I want you to do right now with me is we're going to take 3 really deep breaths. And we're just going to ground ourselves into the earth. We're going to imagine our roots, however it is that you ground yourself. But I like to just imagine like my energy flowing down deep into the earth, connecting to Mama Gaia, connecting to the earth. And just, we're going to ground ourselves right now. So 3 deep breaths. Here we go. Okay. You are worthy of support. You are worthy of an adoration of who you are, of your desires, of the way you want to be, the way you want to live. You are worthy of being around others who not only admire that in you, but hold similar values. And you are so worthy of that. And I feel you're being called into awaken to your worthiness of having people in your life who truly support your deepest desires and like your deepest desire for your way of being in the world, who want to help create that reality for you so it's not all on your own shoulders, and so you're not constantly feeling like you're fighting for your peace. There are others out there who want to support you in your way of being and uplift you and respect you and honor your boundaries and be there for you. There's so much desire to be there for you out there in the form of other human beings and their desires, the desires on their hearts. And it's not all about you, because I feel like you have that desire too to support and uplift others. But it's like you haven't had the energy or the space or the energetic capacity to see it or to feel it because you felt so restricted and burdened by the energies that exist around you right now. But it's not always going to be like this. You are shifting, you are changing. We've got 2 10s here. And then 6 and 4 equals 10. And so there's a huge ending coming, and an ending to that old way, that burdensome way. And the work you've been putting in is going to break you free from that way, and get you closer and closer to this harmonious, beautiful, reciprocal energy within your relationships, a significant relationship, your community, and also not only that, but work you towards this 10 of Pentacles reality where you are building something that is steady, long-lasting, and stable. You're building something to where you will always get to exist in that free-flowing state, where you feel safe to be in that harmonious state, and you get to choose the energies that are around you, as opposed to being restricted by, maybe a job or certain people that are in your life that you wish you could. It's not like you want them out of your life, but you just wish you had a little bit more say in how often these energies and these influences are in your day-to-day. You're moving towards that. You're moving towards that reality where you have more power and say in the energies that are around you. So you can trust, get out of survival mode and be in thriving mode where you can finally feel safe to unfold as you are. So you're getting, like, that's coming. And I kind of want to read this dive in card again. So let us not be concerned with where we have come from or where we may be going. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and feel into the eternal moment happening now and now and now. Allow all to be as it is. Sink deeper into you. Fall into your grace. Dive in and allow the riches of you, infinite, unconditional love to be revealed. Let go, let it be. Allow your treasure, your riches to shine brightly, shedding light into every part of you, illuminating any darkness, transforming it into love, balanced energy that will reveal the very truth of you. Free yourself of all that holds you back. So, the message earlier was all of this is already inside of you. What is to come, the support that is to come, the new reality that is to come for you, feeling loved, supported, and uplifted by the people around you, feeling seen, truly seen, and that desire being on other people's hearts to help you create the circumstances and environment and reality that helps you be fully yourself, fully expansive, fully able to surrender and soften. So that's on people's hearts, and that reality and those connections are already inside of you. So you're just being called to deepen into the connection with yourself. And the more you deepen into the connection with who you are and your inner landscape, and you explore that, the more ingrained your path becomes, and the closer you're becoming towards the physical manifestation of this inner reality. So it's all inside of you. I think meditating on that and diving deeper is going to be really important for you. Open yourself up to the reality that exists within. Allow yourself to be surprised by what you find, and trust that the physical world will eventually have no choice but to reflect all of that back to you. So that is your message. So sorry earlier if I don't know what I was saying. I don't even know, I can't even remember what words were coming out of my mouth during that moment of the erratic energy. But I apologize if it was not very clear, but at least we kind of came to this cohesive message at the end here that feels so much more grounded. I almost want to, for some reason, I'm are there any other questions? Let me open up to any other questions from the people who are watching this. Is there a question? Is there anything else I didn't touch on that needs to be touched on? I feel like you're concerned or wondering about this person. It feels like there's a person coming in, and it could be romantic. It could be a partnership. And I think it's because there's so many people watching this. I don't like to say specifics too much, but I would say open yourself up to the possibility, and open yourself up that it could be anyone, and it could be someone you don't know yet. Open yourself up to that. And as far as it's an energy of support. It's a really strong masculine presence and energy of support that's gonna, when this person comes in, it's gonna feel like a load has been taken off of you and you can breathe. And so that's how you'll know who it is. So I hope that answers any questions. If this person comes in and the burden feels heavier, that's not the person that this is talking about. So yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. This was a really fun and interesting reading. We're going to move into the energy healing now. It is called the Infinite Prayer. So I call it the Infinite Prayer because as I've been tapping into it, it feels like I'm tapping into this divine healing spring of water that is ever flowing. And when you gain access to it, it's like you're gaining access to a sip of this beautiful water, this beautiful healing water. And each one is focused, and my intention is it's for the people who have watched this reading. So whatever it is you're going through now, or this collective energy I'm picking up on, this energy healing is for you. So I will put a link down below where you can find it. I've made it extremely accessible. At the moment, I'm only charging $3.33 for access to the energy healing. They're very short energy healing. They've been between 7 minutes and 10 minutes long, it feels like. But they are really potent and really powerful, and I would love to see you there. It feels like the more people who show up, the more powerful it is. So the more souls who come, the more potent and powerful it feels. So I hope to see you there. If I'm leaving you here, thank you so much for being here. And I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Today we are tapping into how you can empower yourself to move towards your heart's desires, how you can empower yourself to feel worthy of your heart's desires. And yeah, the first two readings were definitely interesting. They kind of like, it moved into a message all on its own. So I'm sorry if I don't directly reference the question and the prompt throughout the reading. I've kind of noticed that I haven't done that. I've just kind of dove into the message, and I'm just hoping that it's kind of self-explanatory. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. But yeah, I've chosen these daisies and these sunflowers, and the daisies and the sunflowers are really what chose the topic for the reading because of their coloring. I made me think of the heart, crown, and solar plexus, and so the green was your heart's desires, the purple was your feelings of worthiness, and the yellow was your solar plexus, your inner power, and your empowerment. So let's thank the flowers here for the topic for the reading today. And I almost want to these are gorgeous. I'm like really being drawn to the sacred geometry within the center of the flower. I kind of want to see if you can see it. I wonder if I can lift the light up to show you a little bit better. It's really beautiful. So pretty. I'm going to show you the daisy too. Just really drawing me in for this reading. I didn't do this for the other two. So I'm definitely going to show you one of the daisies as well. I'm going to show it. Just needs to focus on it real quick. There we go. Okay. Yes. So freaking gorgeous. So maybe this is kind of pointing to a harmonizing energy that's going to come through for this reading. It's much needed after the somewhat erratic energies that came through in group number 2. Not bad or anything, just a little bit. In the beginning of it, there was some unstable energy. It smoothed over after a while. Yeah, it was interesting. So I'm feeling really good about the fact that the first thing we're talking about is sacred geometry and harmony right now. It feels a little bit calmer. So, all right. So I pulled 2 cards from the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. Let's check those out. Whew. Okay, so we have Narrow Pathway, and it says, tread thoughtfully. All right, it doesn't want to focus, but that's okay. Pretty self-explanatory. And then we've got choosing your path. All is possible. All right. Very 2 of Wands energy here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and pull a card from the Flower of Life Oracle. And these just have really beautiful messages on them. So I pull one because I feel like the message is kind of an overarching theme for the reading. Oh, gosh, this is a breath of fresh air. I'm not going to lie. This reading is really feeling super calm, almost sleepy. There's a little bit of a sleepy energy. But we will see what's going on. Right. How can group number 3 find their worthiness and their empowerment to move towards their heart's desires? All right. Okay. 2 cards? Okay. I only pulled 1 for the other 2, and I just mentioned I'm only going to pull 1, but no, apparently I'm pulling 2 for you. So you got You Are Loved and Belief. So the You Are Loved card says, it says, create a new way to be in your life. Return to love. You have the support and love of the universe as you step through the veils of perceived responsibilities into freedom. No one has been placed upon this earth to make you happy, just as it is not your responsibility to make anyone else happy. Your job is to feel the best you can in every moment, freeing yourself and everyone else of the idea that we have to please others to be loved. You are so loved by the whole universe. Accept this love and feel all of your relationships deepen, becoming more authentic and unconditional. You are love and you are loved. And the second card that came through for you is belief. A belief is a thought you think so many times over that you eventually hold it to be true. It is something you have been practicing for a long time, and it always feels like the most familiar path to take. If your life is pleasing, stay with this. If your life is not pleasing, it is time to change your thoughts, thus changing your beliefs. Today you may like to say to yourself, I am not limited by my past or future thinking. I choose my thoughts with care and mindfulness. I regularly have new insights and discover new ways of seeing my world. I am willing to change and grow. Oh, sorry, the focus kind of went off. All right. Okay. Okay. I feel like so far, this is pulling you into a little bit more simplicity into your life. It's almost like this choosing your path, all is possible card creates this feeling of overwhelm. It's almost like so many options. I want to make sure I take the right path. But it almost feels like this, you are loved and belief. These two cards are pulling you into tend to your internal reality and to pull your energy back from, because it talks about as you step through the veils of perceived responsibilities into freedom. And also it talks about how you're not here to please others. And then this talks about changing your belief structures. So it really feels like you're being pulled inward to shift yourself internally and then move in the world, like this narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. So yes, it's like you've been in this energy, this open, all is possible energy. You've been a little bit more extrinsically motivated and connected. And yeah, you're being called inward so that each step you take is a little bit more thoughtfully taken. You know, like each, not necessarily thoughtfully, but just internally motivated. And the path that you start to take is a little bit more careful and a little bit more focused on what is going to be right for you, as opposed to maybe before having been a little bit more swayed by all the energies around you. Okay, we'll get into it more. I feel like there's still something missing there. But yeah, so, okay, I'm going to pull the tarot. All right, how can group number 3 find their worthiness, find their empowerment to move towards their heart's desires? I feel like I need to mix these babies up really good. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of like doubtful energy. I feel like it's almost like you're questioning your path, and that's why you're being pulled inward. There's an alignment that needs to take place within you. And it's not like you're out of alignment. You've been in alignment, but you're changing and shifting, and your belief system is like, you're shifting and you're shifting, you're changing, and there needs to be a restructuring and a realignment. Just need to be readjusted. It's not anything huge. It's just a little adjustment, and that means pulling back from all the energies around you. So, yep. 4 of Swords, rest. Yep. 6 of Pentacles, balance. we've gotten a lot of, so far in all three of these readings, we've gotten a lot of 4s, 6s, and 10s. It's kind of freaky how many we've gotten. Alrighty, and we've got Temperance, another card of balance. And, ooh, interesting. Death. I'm going to, I don't want to cover that up. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to pull this one down too. All right, one more, I think. King of Wands. Interesting. Okay. I didn't expect the King of Wands, but actually, no, that makes perfect sense. Okay. All right. I was pulled to check out the bottom of the deck. And we will look at that later, but the 5 of Swords. I'm going to keep this up over here. It's off the screen. It might be an underlying energy. The 5 of Swords has to do with, it's kind of like there's no winners in war. It's like a battle that's been like, quote, won, but it's more like the ego thinks it's won, but really the heart has lost. We'll come back to that. I don't know how we're going to get led to what that energy is, why that energy is present, but we'll get there. Okay, so, all right, here we go. Let's see. Take a little sip. Okay, so, so yeah, this choosing your path, all is possible card. I feel like it could create confusion because when there are too many possibilities, it's just simply overwhelming and it's hard to make a decision. Yeah, it feels like there is this over focus on all of the options in your life and whether or not you're going to make the right decision. It's more about, there's a belief that there's like one right way. Like for instance, if it's with a relationship, there's one right person out there for you. It's like that kind of mentality, like, okay, I don't even want to get involved with the quote wrong person because what's the point? Because there's only one right person. I only want to be in a relationship with that person. But it's almost like, what if, and this is just an example. I'm not saying this is what you're going through because there's not a lot of indicators of that in specific reality, but it's kind of like sometimes you have to take a path where you're unsure of where it's going to lead and where there's no indicators that this is kind of like the ultimate choice and the obvious choice. But it's just more of a following your inner inklings kind of vibe. And it's like without following those little steps, those inner inklings and carefully staying on the path that you're being called to in the moment. Without those tiny steps, you would never get to what is truly divinely meant for you. It's like the message that's coming through is there's so much for you in the mundane details, so much importance in the day-to-day, in the little baby steps, than you're realizing. It's like tiny little pieces of a giant mosaic. And for you to overlook them is doing yourself a huge disservice. So, yeah, it's like, I don't know why this Temperance card's pulling me in. This beautiful, like, he, this angel is just seems so balanced and grounded. And there's this water. One foot's in the water, one foot's on the earth. There are these beautiful irises growing here. There's this mountain and sunrise in the background. And it reminds me of like waking up in the morning and going outside and smelling the flowers and just embracing the day. And that small step sets you up for the rest of your day. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like these, instead of waking up and rushing into the day and trying to get things done, the nuance and the beauty within each moment of the morning, and the rest of the day, you know, is just such a huge puzzle piece to what it means to be human. And I feel like you're being called into presence. And I know that's not necessarily, as a human, it is that's no easy feat to be present every moment. I mean, it's impossible to be present every moment of every day unless you're literally a monk and you live in a monastery, you know. Even then that's, you know, being human. But the potency of when you actually do take your time and become present in these moments is going to be this like key element that helps you manifest your desired reality. And you can't overlook it. You can't overlook it. I keep being pulled to this narrow pathway. And if you can see, I keep thinking about, there's this wooden plank bridge. And it's like taking a careful step onto each, just the imagery of that I keep being pulled into. Each careful step taking you across this, what's the word? I don't know. I'm not, this crevice in the earth, you know, taking you across this chasm, onto the other side, into the light, into where you're meant to be. But these little steps can't be skipped. It's not like you can't jump on these bridges. It's too wobbly, you know. And it's actually very dangerous. So, yeah, you're being called to carefully take one step at a time and, what's the word? Relish each moment. Yeah, even this reading, this energy is pulling me into, like, for me, it's like, oh, what's the word? What's the word? And I want to just like plow through it. And it's like, no, take a moment. What's the word? Oh, relish. You know, it's like, take a moment, take a breather. Let's do it right. You know, like, yeah. So, okay. And let's see. So the death card is pulling me in, and death represents rebirth. I'm just going to roll with my thought process here, but we've got number 13, and I was reading a journal entry today, and it was talking about Friday the 13th and how it used to be a day to honor the divine feminine and the divine feminine flow, and the patriarchy, and just, yeah, the patriarchy has turned it into this like day to fear, this day of bad luck, when really it is this honoring of it's supposed to be this honoring of the feminine. And so if I'm to apply this to this reading, I would say, there's a deep honoring of the feminine flow and way that you're being called into. And that's going to be so nourishing for you. And it's like a very part of your identity that you have honored, but not in the way she deserves. And it does remind me, like that Friday the 13th thing, it being turned into a day of fear or of bad luck, or it kind of reminds me of this feeling of like, perhaps you worry that if you were to take a slower time or pay attention to these small details, that they're not important enough or that they're going to slow you down, when it's actually the opposite. Because what you want is a deeper connection to your life, and more presence in the goodness of your life. And when your desires do come to fruition, you want, I'm assuming, you want to be able to relish them. You want to be able to accept them, honor them, be with them, experience them as they are present in your life. And so this reading is calling you into more presence with the beauty that already exists in your life, because that will slowly build on the habit of embracing the love and beauty that exists with you, so that when it deepens and when the physical world reflects back to you all the abundance that exists already inside of you, you'll be way more connected to it and way more interactive with it, as opposed to getting there and these things showing up, and they will show up one way or another, but them showing up and you still feeling like disconnected from them, or disconnected from the fulfillment that you thought they would bring. It's because it starts now. Your fulfillment starts now. Wow, that all came from the number 13. But yeah, so this death, this is a rebirth into a new way of being for you. And it doesn't have to look perfect, because it's hard. It's hard to, I don't want to say it's hard. It's just, it can be challenging to shift into a new way of being when you've lived a certain way your whole life. So I just think, have like mercy for yourself, have grace for yourself during this transition, but let yourself slow down and trust that even in the sometimes it feels painful to slow down and to be in the moment. I don't know why. It's like weird how sometimes it can be excruciating to like just be with what is. As much as it hurts sometimes to be with what is, I think if you just be there and have grace, you will see the beauty in it. So I hope that this inspires you to slow down and be more present with all the mundane little details of your life. Maybe that's why it's excruciating sometimes, because sometimes it's painfully boring. But that's the point. It feels boring at first, and I just feel like there's so much life in every little molecule of our existence. And if we can wait just enough to allow that beauty to crack through and to see it, I just think that's so valuable. So yeah, that's a really beautiful message from the Death card. Makes me, I don't know, like I'm getting emotional thinking about it. It kind of reminds me of, when death does happen, it kind of forces us to see the beauty in these small moments, and look back and see the beauty in the small moments. When someone's gone and you can't have it, and you won't have those moments anymore. It's like, wow, those were everything, and I didn't know it. So yeah, beautiful. I love how there's another little sunrise coming over here too. I feel like sunrises are just so pure and gorgeous, and there's so much purity that wants to come through for you. There's so much beauty and purity and connection and simplicity that wants to come through. So yeah, okay. What else are we looking at here? Let's see. Whew. All right. So the Four of Swords is a card about rest, about the importance of rest. But what I'm getting from it, yes, rest, obviously, sleeping, is very important. But I'm actually seeing meditation. I'm seeing observance. I think taking a conscious moment out from your day to just observe and be present with yourself. Like being present in the day to day with little moments, yes. But it really feels like you're being called to take maybe even 5 minutes, sit down, stillness, absolute stillness, and being present with your body and with your mental state and with your being is going to be very powerful for you. It's kind of like you're making a statement to yourself, to the universe, that you are worthy of attention, no matter how much anxiety you've got going on, much pain in your body, pain in your heart, whatever it is that you're going through. It's worthy of attention. And I feel like that is your motivation for taking a moment every day to sit down and just simply be with yourself. Yeah, I think that's the simplicity of that message. And so, so the balance, like temperance is about balance. It's also about alchemy. But Six of Pentacles is about balance, like balancing the scales. These people are impoverished and this guy's giving them money, giving them coins, food, whatever that is. And it's almost like this part of you that craves stillness and presence has been a little bit depleted and just malnourished. And I feel like it's like you're finally giving yourself the space, the spaciousness in your life, and allowing yourself the spaciousness, this gift of presence. And because this King of Wands, it may seem contradictory to all of this, but I feel like this is you, this King of Wands. And sometimes when he's in reverse, there could be an imbalance. That could be what's going on. That could be what has been in balance with the Six of Pentacles. This King of Wands is you, and you're so action oriented and you really want to move forward in your life. You really want to make these things, your desires, become a reality, and you are more than willing to put in the work. But it feels like in order for this King of Wands to operate at his most ultimate, powerful way of being and action taking in the world, he does need this balance of stillness and rest and observance. And I feel like, all right, so my camera timer ran out, but it's okay because I think I got to the point of my main message. I'll get to that in a moment. But so it was basically, the message is that this King of Wands energy, your desire to create, to take action in the world, is so strong. And it's actually a strength of yours. And I feel like it's not something you really need to, I feel like you could have been beating yourself up a little bit for not feeling like you are taking the action that you need to be taking in your life. Or maybe like you've been in a lull or something. And there's nothing wrong with your ability to take action. Actually, that's fully developed. It's more about your ability to slow down and be present and lean into this as more of a foundational element to your life, so that this King of Wands has the balance needed and the spaciousness needed to do his work. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with your ability. You're not lazy. You're not there's nothing wrong with your ability to create what you want to create. he just needs the proper environment, the proper elements to come into play for him to feel confident and grounded in his decisions. So in your decision making, in your actions towards your dreams, it's all going to be rooted in this fertile ground of stillness and presence. So don't skimp on that. You know, it's you're human. You're not going to do a perfect job of slowing down, but just paying a little bit more attention to the stillness of every day and taking your time to do the little steps that get you to where you need to be, to take care of yourself, to nurture yourself, so that this King of Wands energy, you know, has the fertile ground to grow in the way he wants to grow. So, and earlier this card made itself known, and it is the Five of Swords, and it is a card about conflict. Like I said earlier, no winners in war. Someone thinking he's won something, but he hasn't. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how this ties in. Okay, so I feel like this is representing your inner conflictions. Like how I kind of mentioned before, this is about an internal battle. So I'm kind of picking up on, it's like where you were beating yourself up for not taking the actions that you need to take to move forward in your life, and feeling like there's something wrong with you, or you're doing something wrong, or that it's impossible, or whatever these false beliefs are. I feel like it's just creating this like really kind of almost toxic and unstable energy within you that divide, like it's like your internal reality has been divided. And it's because there are two parts of you, because you do want to slow down. You do want to be in the moment. You do want to feel more nourished. But this other action-oriented part of you is like wanting to plow through and create change. And so it's almost creating this disruptive, energetic state within you. And it's actually not good for your health, is what I feel like. I feel like your physical health could be suffering because of this internal conflict. So, okay. Yeah, I feel like, and almost like this circle looks like a stethoscope, or what are those things the doctors wear with the circle? Am I making something up here? It reminds me of a doctor. So I feel like focusing on your health is actually really important right now, because it's like your cellular body picks up on internal conflict and creates tension in your muscles, tension in your, like just in your organs, in your cellular state. And I feel like this internal harmony and stillness and slowness is actually going to help your physical health quite a bit. So yeah, that's it. That's an interesting interpretation. I just think tending to the internal conflict and smoothing it out and alchemizing it into a little bit more wholeness and peace. And it kind of brings me back to this, the sacred geometry that I showed you with these flowers. There is an internal balance and harmony that wants to take place within you. And if you're having any physical symptoms, any pain, any just illness or whatever's going on with you physically, I think it's, and I'm not a doctor. Go to the doctor if you need to go to the doctor, please, for the love of God. Your internal state reflects in your physical reality, in your physical body. So these could be actual, like your body speaking to you, saying there's something off. And so tend to that internal conflict. Figure out what that is and shift it, like with this belief card and this, I choose my thoughts with care and mindfulness. I regularly have new insights and discover new ways of seeing my world. I am willing to change and grow. So like shifting your belief system, shifting your thoughts is going to be very important to help. And then you're going to feel better too. I feel like it's going to heal so much in your body. Whew, yeah, I'm feeling it in my body as I'm like rubbing my back, like I've got some back pain. It's like, oh my goodness, I need to listen to this. But yeah, so, and this, I feel like that's where these kind of do come into play. We need to shift our internal thoughts and belief structures. And this is talking about returning to love. You have the support of and love of the universe as you step through the veils of perceived responsibilities into freedom. Your job is to feel the best you can in every moment, freeing yourself and everyone else of the idea that we have to please others to be loved. You are so loved by the whole universe. Accept this and feel all of your relationships deepen, becoming more authentic and unconditional. You are love and you are loved. Yes, there is such a loving internal state that wants to come through where you are loving every part of you and you are accepting every part of you. And this love is what's going to, things are going to shift internally and even physically and cellularly, if that's a word. Things are going to shift for you. You're going to feel much better physically, mentally, emotionally. And if you take this time to nurture yourself and slow down and have presence and be with your body, be with the world as it is and accept the world as it is, accept yourself as it is. Quit beating yourself up, please. Yes, accept where you're at, accept all of you, and loving yourself and accepting yourself as best as you can. Being present with yourself, honoring yourself enough to give yourself that presence that you deeply need. That is what's going to shift your reality and alchemize your reality into something new, into a new way of being. You don't have to live the way you've been living. You don't have to live in the confines of the way you've been living, in the tightness and restriction, in the conflict. You don't have to live that way. There is a new way. And slow down, be with yourself, and just let yourself slowly, walk on this bridge carefully, and you'll find yourself on the other side. So, for group number 1, I did pull two cards from the Starseed Oracle. I think I want to pull one for you. So, here we go. I didn't pull any for group number 2. I completely forgot about this deck, but I guess they didn't need anything from this deck. But yeah, one for you. It's going to be something simple, just a simple message. And then we will move on to the infinite prayer. I feel like I need to blend this up. Okay. Oh, okay. Ooh, here we go. It's this one. Wait, nope, not that one. It is... We're getting there. We're getting there. It's this one. Okay. Okay. It's just gorgeous. That's what... All right. So... Inner Earth, you'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. That's exactly what I was just saying. I feel like there's a little bit of havoc that's been wreaked. Is that a word? Wreaking havoc. Yeah, that sounded weird saying it that way. There's a little bit of havoc that's been wreaked on your being. I feel like there's been a lot of internal conflict, and a lot of, I don't want to say self-hatred, but just like self-scrutiny, just very harsh self-scrutiny. And it has caused an imbalanced internal state. And we're moving away from that. So it says you'll survive this. I feel like this is a really positive message of you are moving on. You're not going to be like this anymore. You know, this way of being doesn't have to persist. And so this says new solutions and beginnings. And this inner earth, like the term inner earth, it's like the internal of who you are. It's like as if your body is the earth and this is like your inner reality. And it is absolutely like, this is how we want it to be. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's harmonious. It's green and blue and lush and loving and nourished. And this is the internal reality that we want to create and where we're going. So yes, so this is where we're going. Slowing down and being present with yourself is the way. So so we're going to move into the infinite prayer now. The infinite prayer is an energy healing session. There will be a link down below. It is very accessible. I've made it very accessible. What I've been tapping into and what it feels like is this infinite wellspring of healing waters that everyone should have access to. So I've made the price as low as I can, to both make it accessible and honor the time and energy I'm putting into it. So if you'd like to join me there, it is going to be geared directly towards you, if this reading resonated with you, the energy healing session is for you. And it feels as if I just want to clear away the debris and help to create more internal harmony for you. So I'm hoping that's what the energy healing session does. And I just want, yes, shift your belief structures and learning to love yourself more deeply. And that inner harmony is so important, and it's showing, and then it will show up in your physical reality as well. So if you're having any pain or health things, this will help with that. Obviously see your doctor if it's serious or if you need to, but this feels like this will help with your physical body's health and reality. So so the energy healing, I hope to see you there. I also want to mention my other YouTube channel. It's called Soul Hearken. It is my heart and soul in video form. I'll put a link to that below as well if you'd like to check it out. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful for your presence. I hope to see you in another reading, and so many blessings and love coming your way. Bye.